Well, good evening. How are you all tonight? I'm going to put this on both channels. So I'll say welcome to both Integrative Preparedness and American Reversion. I want to do a review on the movie Sound of Freedom. Now, many of you have probably heard of the movie. It's been advertised quite a bit. It's out of Angel Studios, which is a kind of a crowd-funded, family-friendly studio that was formed by I forget who to bring family-friendly viewing, to the public. Somebody had said that they thought Mel Gibson owned the studios. I can't find anything that supports that or that he has anything to do with it, except that Jim Caviezel, who stars in it, showed it to him and says as a part of their promotions that it made Gibson cry. So I don't believe Gibson has anything to do with the production or the ownership of that, and just in case anybody had any questions about that. It's a movie that, the movie, as you probably know, it's about sex trafficking, human trafficking, child sex trafficking. And it's based apparently on a true story of a DHS agent by the name of Tim Ballard, I believe. To start off with this, I thought long and hard about what I wanted to say about this movie. I think you should go see it, but I have a caveat in it, and I'll explain that later. I do have some background in human trafficking and investigation, and quite a bit of knowledge about it, which I won't get into. But so I was interested to see it, and I thought it was great that this was coming out. So Kelly and I went with her brother and his wife the other day to go see it. And like I say, it's Jim Caviezel plays a DHS agent, Tim Ballard, who is involved in the investigations of child sex trafficking, child pedos, whatever. I forget if I've said this before because I had to restart this video. I wasn't aware that was under DHS or they had anything to do with it, but I don't know things. There's a lot of stuff I don't know, but apparently he did. Well, he got involved in an investigation of a brother and sister who were wrapped up in one of these things that the pedos do, one of these grooming, or it was a come be a model, come be a star, and these little kids are like 8 and 10 or 11, something like that. And the father takes them. I won't tell the whole story. Drops them off. They say come back and get him at 7. He goes back at 7. Nobody's there. The place is empty, and so naturally he goes berserk. And through a process that's not important, the DHS agent played by Caviezel gets involved. It tracks it through. It takes him through his investigations. His supervisor at DHS gives him some time off to pursue it personally, kind of. We all know how that is. And eventually, because he wants to pursue it, he leaves DHS, goes about it on his own with blessings of his wife back in the States, and goes down to Colombia trying to find these 2 kids. I won't blow the story for you. I won't tell you what happens in case you want to go see it. And that kind of keeps me from being able to say a lot. I'll say that Caviezel is a great actor. There was great acting in this. There was great cinematography. There was marginal script writing. To be real honest, some was good, some not so good, some not so believable. I found some of it realistic. I found a lot of it unrealistic, particularly dealing with some of the the people involved in this. There was there was laughing at times that there would not have been laughing. I'm not sure why they put that stuff in there. There was behavior that was inappropriate to the situation, and by inappropriate, I don't mean people running around without their clothes on or cussing or anything like that. It simply would not have been that type of behavior in that type of situation, and I know what I'm talking about with that. Let me put it this way. Did I say there's good acting, there's good cinematography, there's pretty good editing, to be honest. You should see it because everybody should be more aware of this situation. The slavery is bigger than it's ever been before. Slavery has always been with us. It will always be with us. I write about it in my books, going to write more. The horrors of child slavery, of sex slavery, is beyond what normal people can even imagine. And that's the problem that I have with this movie. When we left the movie, Kelly asked me, "Did you like the movie?" I said, "Not particularly." I think that everyone should see it, but the problem with the movie is that it didn't even come close to showing the true horrors of the situation. And it was meant to bring the attention of the public to the problem. Okay, international child trafficking, international sex trafficking. And I am 100% in support of people becoming more aware of that, and doing something about it. So in that extent, I'm glad that they put out the movie. I think that many people who aren't aware of it, they'll come out of the movie saying, "Oh, isn't that terrible?" You know, a lot of church groups will go, normal people will go. Not meaning that church groups aren't normal, but a lot of them aren't. Isn't that terrible? Isn't that terrible? And they'll be happy to, pitch in a couple of dollars, if there's something, a collection taken for that. And then they'll forget about it. That's the problem with the movie. People should see, in my opinion, it should have gone much farther in showing the horrors of that situation. This one didn't even come close. And there were a lot of things in it. I'll be real honest. There were a lot of things in it that were just silly. And so it's kind of one of those things that I'm afraid is going to hurt what they're trying to do by not portraying it realistically enough. Now, there will be some people that say, well, I don't think that they should portray it more realistically. This is family friendly. Child sex trafficking, any kind of sex trafficking, any kind of human trafficking, is not child friendly. In my opinion, I wish this movie had gone much farther so it would have shocked the average person to their core. So that those people who can't imagine the things that they don't want to hear us talk about, except very peripherally, could not escape dealing with the realistic situation. I would have preferred this had sledgehammered it and shown as much as they can on film how horrible this really is. And I think it came up way short. Way short. And people who don't know anything about this will think, oh, that really showed the way it was. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. It doesn't even come close. Some of you out there will know what I'm talking about. Some of you out there have seen the horrors, and and perhaps agree with me, and maybe you don't, I don't know. I think that more normal people should be exposed to more of the horrors of the world. They'd make better decisions. They'd be more intelligent. They wouldn't be able to go through life with their head in the cotton candy clouds of rainbows and unicorns, and thinking that being incensed about something, momentarily, is they have done their duty. So I was really disappointed. I would suggest you go see it, just so that you can see. If you don't know much about this stuff, it might introduce it to you in a very, very mild way. I would call it a G. It's almost a G rated. And when you think about, sex trafficking being portrayed in a G rating, that's how do you do that? You can't. But if there are people who don't know anything about this, maybe it'll pique their interest. I wish somebody would come out with one that really, really does it right. So that's my opinion on this. You should see it just to see how it was portrayed, so that when it comes up in conversations, you can have a firsthand, experience to be able to discuss it. Those of you who know real, who've been real, will be able, hopefully, to describe or take the people that you talk to further down the line, let them get a glimpse of the terrors. And there's that. I think that's all. A movie that you should see, but that is going to be a great disappointment for anybody who knows reality, and is not going to serve the purpose, I'm afraid, for those who don't know. It's not going to really introduce them. They're going to come away thinking, oh, well, that's really bad, but it's not too bad, So anyway, I'm sorry that I had to give that kind of review, but that's what I think. And if you go see it, go tell me what you think. I don't. If you disagree with me, that's fine. And I know people here, you guys who have been there, you might disagree with me, and that's okay, because I know that you'll disagree and give your reasons for it. So maybe that's all that normal people can take to see. And that's a shame. But that's why these things happen. Because normal people want to keep their distance from the real horrors of the world, right? Okay. There you have it. Go see it. Tell your friends to see it. Let me know what you think. And that's it. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.